When Chaka Khan appeared on the Jennifer Hudson Show, audiences expected an unforgettable conversation between two powerhouse vocalists whose voices had shaped generations. But what started as a warm and celebratory exchange quickly unraveled into a fiery clash that no one could have predicted. The set was buzzing with excitement as Jennifer welcomed her idol with heartfelt admiration, recalling how Chaka's music had inspired her own journey from church choirs to Hollywood and Broadway stages. At first, the energy was electric, with Chaka cracking jokes and Jennifer gushing about her legendary career. But the tone shifted when Jennifer brought up a controversial topic: Chaka's outspoken comments about younger artists and the current state of the music industry. Jennifer framed the question gently, asking how Chaka felt about modern R&B and pop singers who credited her as a major influence. But Chaka bristled, her sharp wit turning into biting criticism as she dismissed many of today's stars as manufactured voices with no soul. Jennifer, taken aback, tried to respectfully push back, suggesting that every era has its own unique artistry and that younger artists deserve space to grow. But Chaka cut her off, saying flatly, "Respect has to be earned, and too many of them haven't earned it." The crowd gasped, and Jennifer's smile faltered, her usually warm demeanor tightening into quiet defiance as she defended the younger generation, pointing out that the industry's changes weren't always the artist's fault, but rather the result of labels and market pressures. Chaka rolled her eyes and snapped back that real talent always rises above, and that excuses only weaken the craft. The tension became palpable, the friendly mentor-mentee tone replaced by an unmistakable clash of perspectives. And Jennifer finally raised her voice, saying that while she revered Chaka's legacy, she believed in encouraging rather than tearing down the artists who followed in her footsteps. The audience erupted into applause at Jennifer's heartfelt defense, but Chaka, visibly irritated, stood up, muttered something under her breath about fake respect, and stormed off the set. Leaving the moment Chaka Khan stormed off Jennifer Hudson's stage, the air in the studio shifted dramatically, a sudden silence falling over the crowd as the cameras kept rolling and Jennifer sat frozen in her chair, caught between disbelief and the responsibility of keeping the show moving. For a brief second, Jennifer's wide eyes betrayed the shock she felt. This was her idol, the woman she had grown up listening to. It's the very artist she credited with inspiring her powerful vocal style. Now that same figure had just dismissed her on live television in front of millions. But Jennifer, ever the professional, composed herself quickly, giving the audience a soft, slightly shaky laugh, trying to lighten the mood by saying, "Well, y'all, that wasn't how I pictured this going today." The audience chuckled nervously, unsure whether to applaud, sit in stunned silence, or boo Chaka's abrupt exit. But the show's producers scrambled behind the cameras, gesturing to Jennifer to keep talking, while stagehands attempted to coax Chaka back. Meanwhile, Jennifer leaned into the moment, her calm but firm voice filling the awkward gap as she addressed what had just happened without sugarcoating it. She explained that she had grown up revering Chaka and still did, but part of what she believed in was honest conversation, even when it got uncomfortable. The audience responded with loud applause, clearly siding with Jennifer for handling the chaos with grace, and that seemed to embolden her further. She spoke passionately about how every generation in music builds on the ones before, and while Chaka had every right to her opinion, dismissing the artistry of newer voices was something she simply couldn't accept. Backstage, producers whispered frantically, debating whether to cut to a commercial break, but Jennifer waved them off, clearly determined to hold the moment and show the world she wouldn't be shaken. Rumors later circulated that Chaka, still fuming behind the scenes, had refused to return, slamming her dressing room door and muttering about being disrespected on her own level. In the studio, Jennifer pivoted beautifully, turning the confrontation into an impromptu monologue about respect, legacy, and the responsibility of older generations to guide rather than tear down. Clips of her remarks began trending online within minutes, with fans praising her poise under pressure and blasting Chaka for her perceived arrogance. What was supposed to be a celebratory sit-down between two icons had morphed into a viral culture clash, sparking debates across social media, radio and television about mentorship, respect, and the tensions between legendary artists and the younger generation striving to carry the torch stunned and the studio audience in shocked silence. By the next morning, the fallout from Chaka Khan walking off Jennifer Hudson's show had snowballed into one of the biggest entertainment stories of the week. Clips of the dramatic moment spreading like wildfire across every corner of social media, dissected, memed, and debated with the intensity usually reserved for political scandals or blockbuster premieres. On Twitter, hashtags like #TeamJennifer and #CHAKA began trending simultaneously, with fans of Jennifer praising her poise under pressure, while Chaka's diehard loyalists defended the Queen of Funk, arguing that she had every right to speak her mind and shouldn't be expected to coddle younger artists. Instagram Reels looped Jennifer's sharp rebuttal, where she spoke passionately about respecting legacy without silencing new voices, with millions of users reposting it as a rallying cry for younger generations fighting for recognition. TikTok, as always, exploded with creativity users, stitched clips of Chaka's storm off with dramatic music, while others reenacted the moment in comedic sketches. Some even poking fun at Jennifer's shocked expression when her idol suddenly stood and walked away. Entertainment outlets wasted no time jumping into the frenzy. Morning talk shows replayed the clip with panelists debating whether Jennifer had been disrespectful in pushing back or whether Chaka's exit was an overreaction fueled by pride and ego. By midday, celebrities began weighing in fellow musicians, actors, and even athletes, tweeting their takes, with younger stars overwhelmingly siding with Jennifer for standing her ground, while some veterans expressed sympathy for Chaka, suggesting that age and status sometimes made artists more sensitive to perceived slights. Jennifer, meanwhile, remained composed, releasing a short but heartfelt Instagram post that read, "I will always honor those who paved the way for me, but I'll also always speak my truth. Music is about connection, growth, and respect for the past, the present, and the future." That statement only endeared her further to fans, solidifying her reputation as a grounded, respectful, yet fearless artist unafraid to stand tall even in the face of her heroes. Chaka, however, chose a more defiant route, posting a cryptic message on her Twitter account: "Respect is a two-way street. Legends don't bow to anyone." The post was flooded with replies, some cheering her for keeping it real, while many others criticized her for what they saw as arrogance and an unwillingness to embrace the new generation. Media analysts noted how the clash symbolized a larger cultural debate. The tension between established icons who feel their legacies are underappreciated and rising stars who demand respect while also seeking to redefine what artistry means today. Behind the scenes, insiders revealed that producers of Jennifer's show were both frustrated and thrilled. The live blow-up had been a nightmare to manage in the moment, but the ratings spike and online buzz promised to make it one of the most watched and talked about episodes of the season. Some even hinted that the production team was already brainstorming ways to bring Chaka back on for a reconciliation episode, though skeptics doubted whether either woman would agree to share a stage again so soon. Asterisk.